Sorry about that. All right, hey guys, this welcome back to Hfoschool. This quick class vid, or this quick class topic, will be on a few skills advanced entrepreneurs and investors must know. So we did the basics for the beginners the first time, but this is the advanced level one, and you'll see why essentially. So I'll just touch on a few and the importance of each. So let's go. One is delegation and automation. So without delegation and automation, you're essentially being far less efficient than you can be. And delegation is simply the act of outsourcing, and automation is having systems work so that when a customer or client has an action, your company has a reaction automatically. So that said, that's delegation and automation. Again, these are things to help you become more efficient in your business, and it's an advanced thing. So without them, your business will truly suffer. Two, we have incentive and penalties. So incentive is very important or imperative in business because, well, firstly, you see it in, how would you say it, sales-based businesses. You'll see it in, a lot in sales-based businesses because they have quotas in place, to say the least, and those quotas are minimum goals that you have to meet. And when you have people who exceed those goals or are just touching them, those incentives are a way to measure their success, or it's the carrot at the end of the line. It gives them something to chase, because people don't tend to be high performers at things that they can lollygag at unless there's an intangible quality. So an incentive tends to always give a little bit of urgency or set the fire underneath the butt of the person you want to truly perform. So the other part of that is penalty for underperforming. When you have, it's the other side of that for a reason. When you have a quota to meet, or you have sales numbers or actions that need executed and people are underperforming, you need a way to almost keep them in line, and that penalty specifically will allow them to, or force them to, execute at a level of your choosing. Penalties have a bad connotation, but it's almost like playing a game with no rules. If the game has no rules, then it becomes the Wild Wild West, and there's no law, hence the ability for lawlessness. So I'm not sure if I ended the point clearly on incentives and penalties. So incentives, bonuses, good things like presents, raises for good performance. And then penalties, essentially the opposite, but punishments or probationary actions, you name it, however is legally and ethically implemented, but a restriction or penalty of some sort. I'm trying to think of the other word, but yeah, that. And we have team and leadership, very important. Um, team. What is a business without a team? A team is essentially an extension of, or a reflection of, the systems you have in place. And then the leadership, well, actually the individual moving parts of a business require, regardless of if it's one man to multiple roles, there are different roles for all businesses that need to be filled. And that team allows you to show the effectiveness of your systems, the effectiveness of your delegation and outsourcing. The team are the other arms, if you view it as like the Hindu god with all the arms. It creates that ability to execute multiple needed high value actions simultaneously. There's so much to say about the team, but the leadership skills are, sorry guys, this video, it's not going to be that short. But yeah, so the leadership, to be able to galvanize that team, to be able to guide the team to execute in the most efficient way possible, to incentivize that team, to penalize that team for underperformance, to have proper composure when under high pressure situations, to reflect the core values of your company in extreme situations and at all times, to be a reflection of constantly raising the bar, keeping the growth mind of your business first, the growth and performance of your team up there as well. There are so many different things to evaluate there, but leadership and team, very key piece of the puzzle. Very key piece to the puzzle. And we have deadlines. Deadlines, very, very imperative, because if you say you're going to do something and there's no time frame outlining or ironing down the definitive date of execution, it will be delayed. Our brains are designed and wired to procrastinate on things that are not considered urgent. So a deadline naturally forces us to act, not into the fight or flight or anything like that, not that extreme, but it forces you in your mind and body to lock in on a task that must be done, or on tasks. So deadlines, they're almost as important as the goal themselves. I wouldn't even say almost, it's 50% task and 50% deadline, because if you don't have a time frame outlining something, it won't get done, simply put. And lastly, last but not least, excuse me guys, I have horrible handwriting. Performance evaluation. So to be able to take a step back, actually look with a bird's eye view of what's going on, how it should be executed, what the goal is, and then take that same perspective and put yourself in the shoes of those you want to execute it. So looking at it from the bigger picture, from the outside, a non-connected factor, like a civilian or not even a would-be customer, just someone seeing your business for what is, seeing it in that same way, but through a different lens of you being the entrepreneur, the owner, and then visualizing it in another lens of being the people who you want to directly execute the action. If you can see it through their eyes, see the goal through their eyes, what needs to be done. This is also why a lot of people get caught up on it won't get done right unless you do it yourself, but the same level of importance you give it is the same amount of, that much more amount of clarity is needed to communicate that to someone else. And if that's communicated clearly, you will find the right person who has the same level of urgency or commitment or desire to complete that task as you, if not more. So again, that's just one dimension of performance evaluation, but to also be able to see, to basically be able to see what a person is doing, the what they're doing, the how they're doing, and on the spectrum of how is best to be done versus how they want to do it, you gauge it on that, as well as, most important is efficiency and effectiveness, but to essentially analyze and break down what it is you want someone to do. But let me just sum this up because it got a little sloppy, the video, my guys. So skills for advanced entrepreneurs, delegation and automation, that's 1. 2 is incentive and penalty. 3 is team and team leadership. 4 is deadlines. And 5 is performance evaluation. Key skills for advanced entrepreneurs. Sorry for the sloppy touching on each point, guys, but you get the gist. Those are the skills that need honed and evaluated probably the most, and developed maybe the most, for newly just transcending past novice entrepreneur to advanced entrepreneur. Until next time, guys.